to me. Oh!
Every legendary Motown record you know almost got thrown away before it ever reached a radio. This is Soul Letters, and tonight we're pulling back the curtain on 10 songs that shaped an entire sound.
That girl is pretty wild, no. She's alright. That girl's alright.
Rejections, rewrites, and last-minute rescues. Here's the real story behind the hits, starting now. Number 10, The Marvelettes. Please, Mr. Postman.
Hey, 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 Mr. Postman. Please, Mr. Postman.
A teenage girl in Inkster, Michigan, was waiting on a letter from a boyfriend serving in the Navy, and that ache turned into a melody. Her name was Georgia Dobbins, and when Gordy told her group to bring back an original song or don't bother returning, she wrote one in 3 days. She borrowed a half-finished tune from a friend, folded her own longing into the lyrics, and walked back into Motown with something Gordy knew instantly was a hit. Then her father stepped in and forbade her from touring, so Dobbins found her own replacement, handed the microphone away, and left the group she'd built from scratch. That song became Motown's first ever #1 on the Billboard chart, a company-defining moment carried to the finish line by a girl who never once got to stand on stage and sing it herself. Number 9, The Contours, Do You Love Me?
Do you love me? I can really do you love me? Love it. Watch me now. Do you love me? I'm in the groove.
This song was never written for the Contours at all. Gordy composed it specifically for the Temptations, planning to build their new single around it in the summer of 1962. But when it came time to record, the Temptations were nowhere to be found. They were actually across town at a church service, watching a gospel group perform. Completely unaware, Gordy had been calling around trying to track them down. Frustrated and needing a group in the booth, Gordy turned to the Contours instead. A rowdier, lesser-known act who happened to be at Hitsville that same day, and handed them the song on the spot. The Contours' wild, raw take on it became their biggest hit by far, and a quarter-century later, it stormed the charts all over again after a single scene in the movie Dirty Dancing introduced it to a whole new generation. Number 8, The Supremes, Where Did Our Love Go?
Baby, don't leave me all by myself.
Here's a detail that should be impossible. Motown's biggest girl group almost let their own signature song slip through their fingers. Holland Dozier Holland wrote it first for the Marvelettes, tailored to a deeper, huskier voice than Diana Ross ever used.
And it hurts so bad. Ooh, deep inside me, you came into my heart.
The Marvelettes passed on it without hesitation, and the Supremes weren't much more enthusiastic.
So tenderly, that stings like a bee.
Mary Wilson and Florence Ballard reportedly refused to sing the tight harmonies as written, murmuring background vocals instead.
Ooh, you wanna leave me, baby. Where did our love go?
Ross had to sink into an unfamiliar lower register just to make the vocal work at all, and the group recorded it mostly because, at that stage, turning down material wasn't really an option for them.
Be
you in the heart. But now that you got me, ooh, baby, baby, baby.
Weeks later, touring with Dick Clark's Caravan of Stars, the group noticed the crowds getting louder in every new city, and by the time they made it home to Detroit, they had the #1 song in the entire country. Number 7, The Four Tops, Reach Out, I'll Be There.
If you feel that you can't go on, because all of your hope is gone.
Levi Stubbs sang as a baritone, and Holland Dozier Holland knew it perfectly well when they built his next single in a tenor range that sat right at the outer edge of what his voice could physically manage.
And your life is filled with much confusion until happiness is just an illusion. Come on, girl.
They wanted that strained, cracked, gospel preacher urgency in every phrase.
And your world around is crumbling down. Reach on out for me. Reach out for me.
And the only way to get it was to push Stubbs past comfort, take after take, until the tension in his voice became the whole point.
Reach out for me. And I'll be there.
When the group first heard the finished mix, they were so thrown by how raw and unfamiliar it sounded that they went straight to Berry Gordy and asked him not to release it.
But there's no peace of mind to be found, darling. Come on, girl.
Gordy overruled them completely, and that uneasy, straining vocal became one of the most instantly recognizable performances Motown ever produced. Number 6, The Jackson 5, I Want You Back.
I had you to myself, I want you around.
For years, Motown told the world that Diana Ross personally discovered 5 brothers from Gary, Indiana, and introduced them on national television. It made a wonderful headline. It just wasn't how it happened.
Faces always make you stand out in the crowd. I wanna pick you from the bunch when the lamp was all it took.
Gladys Knight was actually the one who first mentioned the Jacksons to Berry Gordy.
Oh, baby, give me one more chance. Please let me back in your heart.
And singer Bobby Taylor physically brought them through the door for their audition, with Ross only stepping in afterward to host their media launch.
You in his arms, I do now. Ooh, baby, yeah. Trying to live without your love.
The song itself began life under a completely different title, reworked from the ground up by a brand new Motown writing team calling themselves The Corporation.
In the evening, I wanna ride every day and night. Oh, darling, I was blind to let you go. All I need is one more chance. Boy, you're gonna love me, baby, baby.
Producer Freddie Perrin remembered hearing the finished melody climb to a high E flat and thinking, this 11-year-old actually has to hit that note, and Michael Jackson did, on the single that introduced the world to the group. Number 5, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Tears of a Clown.
If there's a smile on my face, oh yeah. I'm too fool in public, but when it comes down,
This record exists because a 16-year-old walked into Smokey Robinson's office with a melody he couldn't finish.
my glad expression, really I'm sad.
That teenager was Stevie Wonder, and the instrumental track he'd built with producer Hank Cosby had no words attached to it at all.
Sad things known to man, tears of a clown.
Robinson lived with the tune for days, decided the swirling, circus-like melody sounded exactly like a calliope, and that thought sent him straight back to an old Italian opera he'd loved since childhood.
Oh yeah, baby. And to be carefree, it's only to gamble.
One about a clown who buries his heartbreak behind painted-on laughter.
I'm hurt and I want you to
Neither writer thought the finished song had much hit potential, and it sat buried on an album for 3 full years, while quieter ballads took the spotlight as singles instead.
Now if there's a smile on my face, the tears of a cloud.
A record executive across the ocean pulled it off the shelf, released it almost on a whim, and it shot straight to #1 in Britain before crossing back home and doing the exact same thing in America. Number 4, Diana Ross, Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low. Listen, baby, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
Diana Ross's first solo single flopped so badly that she reportedly opened her early shows, joking about it, wondering out loud if she could actually make it without the Supremes behind her.
You need me, call me, no matter where you are.
Ain't no mountain high enough.
Her producers, the husband and wife team Ashford and Simpson, went back to an older song they'd written years earlier and rebuilt it completely.
Ain't no valley low enough to keep me from getting to you, baby. I told you you could always count on me, darling.
Slower, more theatrical, filled with spoken passages that had never existed in the original version.
I'll be there when you want me, some way, somehow. Just send for me, oh baby.
Barry Gordy hated it the first time he heard it, insisting the big chorus needed to move to the front of the record, but Ashford and Simpson refused to change a single note.
No matter how far,
Don't worry,
I'll be there on the double as fast as I can. And although we are miles apart,
if you ever need.
hurry, you don't have to worry.
Radio disc jockeys started editing their own versions and playing them on air, forcing Gordy's hand,
Me from getting to you, babe, don't you know that
Ain't no river wide enough.
and the song became Ross's first solo #1, proof the writers had been right to hold their ground. Number 3, Junior Walker and the All-Stars, Shotgun.
I said, shooting boy right now.
Junior Walker wasn't even supposed to be a singer. He was a saxophone player who fronted his band mostly on horn, and the whole song started because he watched a group of kids at a club doing a free-form dance he'd never seen before.
Do the dirt, baby.
Stomping and staggering like they'd just been shot. He brought the idea to Barry Gordy himself, who got personally involved in producing the track.
Do the dirt now. Hey, said, buy yourself a shotgun now. And then you go down now.
And that now famous gunshot sound at the very beginning was created simply by an engineer kicking an amplifier.
We're gonna load it up, baby, now. I said, shotgun, shooting boy right now.
Walker wasn't even meant to sing on the record. The vocalist booked for the session never showed up, so Walker stepped up to the microphone himself, fully expecting his rough vocal take to get replaced later.
Do the dirt now. Put on your high heel shoes. I said,
Gordy heard it, loved the raw energy, and kept Walker's very first vocal take in the final mix.
I said, shotgun, do the dirt, baby.
Turning an accidental performance into the song that launched Junior Walker and the All-Stars into the charts for good. Number 2, Edwin Starr, War.
Absolutely nothing.
This song wasn't written for Edwin Starr at all. It was built for the Temptations, and Norman Whitfield fully intended it to be their next big single after the group cut it for their Psychedelic Shack album.
Absolutely nothing. Say it again, y'all. Listen to me.
But once fans and college students heard the album track, thousands of letters started flooding into Motown's offices, practically demanding the label release it.
It means destruction of this life. Yeah. War means tears to thousands of mothers.
Barry Gordy hesitated. worried a politically charged anti-war anthem could alienate the Temptations' more conservative fans.
When the sons go off to fight and lose their God, y'all. What is it good for? Wow. It ain't nothing but a heartbreak.
Whitfield refused to let the song die quietly. He first tried recording it with another Motown act, who turned the offer down flat.
He's got one friend, that's the Undertaker. That shattered many young men's dreams.
Before Edwin Starr, a relatively overlooked artist on the roster, stepped forward and volunteered to cut it himself.
Made him disabled, bitter and mean. Boys caused the rest within the younger generation. Is an enemy to all men. Life is much too short and precious. It's been fighting wars each day. It ain't nothing but a heartbreaker. War can't give life, it can only take it away. Peace, love, and understanding. Tell me, you tell me. Say, we must fight to keep our freedom. But it's good God, Lord knows there's got to be a better way.
Starr insisted on singing it his own way, with raw conviction instead of polish, and that version shot straight to #1, turning a song nobody wanted to risk into one of the most powerful protest anthems in music history. #1, Rick James, Super Freak.
She's a very kinky girl, the kind you don't take home to mother.
This one didn't end its story at Motown. It exploded almost a decade later, in a courtroom. Rick James built Super Freak into a punk-funk anthem in 1981.
She will never let your spirits down. She likes the boys in the band.
Driven by a bass line so distinctive, it basically became the whole personality of the song.
She says that I'm her all-time favorite. He's never hard to please. Oh, no.
Nearly 10 years after that, a rapper named MC Hammer lifted that exact riff, note for note, as the entire backbone of what would become one of the biggest songs of the early 90s, You Can't Touch This, without ever asking James for permission first.
That girl is pretty wild, no. Girl's a super freak. That girl is pretty kinky. Girl's a super freak.
James wasn't about to let it slide. He and his legal team sued for copyright infringement, and rather than fight it out in court, Hammer agreed to settle by naming James as a co-writer on the track.
She's alright. She's alright. Hey, 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 hey. She's a super freak. Super freak. She's super freak.
That single decision turned Hammer's smash into James's biggest payday, handed him a share of millions in royalties.
Three's not a crowd to her, she says. The girl is super freak. Blow, Danny. Since wine and candles is such a freaky scene.
And ironically earned Rick James the only Grammy Award of his entire career for a song he never even recorded.